225 media conference call. At this time, we are assembling our audience and will begin shortly. As a reminder, you may press star 1 on your telephone keypad to signal for questions. We do appreciate your patience and ask that you please continue to stand by as we'll be going live shortly. Good day, everyone, and welcome to today's UFC 225 media conference call. Today's call is being recorded, and at this time, I would like to turn the call over to Chris Costello. Please go ahead.
Thanks, Yolanda. I want to welcome everybody to today's UFC 225 media conference call. UFC 225 takes place Saturday, June 9th from United Center in Chicago. The event airs live on pay-per-view. Today's call will be in two parts. The main event featuring middleweight champion Robert Whittaker and number one contender Yoel Romero will join us in 30 minutes. But to kick things off, please welcome the two athletes vying for the UFC interim welterweight title in the co-main event. Number 1 ranked Rafael dos Anjos and number 4 Colby Covington. And with that, Yolanda, we can open up to questions.
Certainly, and as a quick reminder, that's star 1 to signal at this time, star 1 for questions. We'll go first to Jeffrey Harris with 411 Mania MMA.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. First question for Colby Covington. Some of your critics have described some of your attitude as being fake and cringy. What do you have to say to those critics?
I am the living embodiment of the First Amendment. All these critics are Cheeto-eating dorks. They've never been in a cage and fought in a steel cage, so I don't really care what their opinion is.
Do you believe Rafael dos Anjos presents any interesting problems or challenges to you that your other opponents in the past you faced have not?
No, man. He's soft. I don't see anything in Ralphie that presents a new challenge to me that I haven't seen before in the gym. I train in the greatest gym in the world, H.E.A.T, so, RDA is not going to present any problems that I haven't seen before in the gym.
For Rafael, what does this fight mean to you? And would you say this is one of the biggest fights of your career?
Yeah, it means a lot. I'm about to make history. I'm about to be among the very few that have 2 belts. And my focus, I'm training hard and to get my second belt and make history. That's my goal.
Oh, and what do you... RDA just fail so hard next week, RDA. The whole world's going to hate you. I'm going to mark your face up like the Liberty Bell. Land of the free, home of the brave, bitch.
And, Rafael, what do you think of Colby Covington's attitude? Do you believe it's genuine, or do you believe he's just creating a persona in public to kind of get himself in this position?
No, man, this guy is so fake. Like, everybody saw on the media day in New York. When he see people, he just stick with his phone and he not even looking around. This guy's so fake, he's now when he's on the phone he grow his balls, but on the fight night, his balls shrink. I'm gonna expose this guy.
You honestly don't believe anything you say, Ralphie. Let's be honest. You've been ducking this fight since Singapore. We were supposed to fight in Singapore, and that's why you got moved below me on the card, because you didn't want to fight me. You said, Oh, Colby, I had to Google you.
I'll fight you next week, man.
Google me now.
I will fight you next week.
And after June 9th,
I'll fight you next week, buddy. Hey, little boy, I'll fight you next week.
Hey, that's fine. I'm going to see you next week, boy. Everybody's going to hate you, so going to hate you.
You're a comedian, man.
You're boring.
You're a comedian, man. You're so excited. You'll be in the biggest fight of your life. you expend a lot of energy trying to be somebody that you're not, and man, I'm just gonna expose you. You know that.
Hey, guess what? I'm willing to buy you bubble wrap. I'm making so much money this fight. I want to buy you bubble wrap. I want to make sure you don't get the McGregor fight.
And I feel that you're extending the money that you're not making it.
Hey, little boy, I'm talking. When a grown man speaks, you shut your mouth.
Shut up, man.
You show up on June 9th. I don't want Darren Hill to have to come in.
Shut up, man.
Rafael, were you impressed at all with Colby Covington's dominant victories over Dong Young Kim or Damian Maia?
I don't see any dominant victory. I don't see nothing on this guy. He's making so much money, but I think he's expending money that he's not making yet. You know, he's gonna be in debt after this fight. He's been expending a lot of money with the prostitute, and he's gonna be in debt after this fight.
Man, you're gonna feel so hard, buddy.
And last question for Colby. Rafael, he's a former lightweight champion, and he's made a pretty tremendous transition up to lightweight. Have you been more impressed with his career in UFC at welterweight than he was at lightweight, considering he was champion?
I haven't been impressed with his career at all. He was getting melted by lightweights. He was getting melted by featherweights.
Now he's melting welterweight.
It's going to be the same thing. He's going to be left motionless in the octagon June 9th, and no one's going to care about him. He's going to fade away into obscurity.
Thank you, gentlemen, and good luck to both of you.
Nachos.
Our next question comes from Damon Martin with FlowCombat.com.
Hey guys, first question is for Colby. Colby, I know the odds really don't matter in the long run, but right now you're instilled as an underdog. Do you agree with that? Do you agree you should be the underdog in this fight?
That's a good question, Damon. You know what I think of that, Damon? I see the nerds saying I'm an underdog. You know who else was an underdog? The leader of the free nation, Donald Trump. And just like him, I will rule by grabbing these pussies and putting them in their place.
Colby, I know over the weekend you had quite a bit to say about Darren Till missing weight and everything going into his fight. I'm curious what your thoughts were when you saw the rankings that he still ended up jumping over you, even though he did miss weight for his fight with Wonderboy.
Yeah, you know, I don't pay attention to rankings because after I finish those nachos, you know, I'm going to move right back ahead of him. But, you know, I mean, he landed the most significant hugs and most significant glove taps. Does anybody want to see that? I mean, 40 significant strikes landed in the fight. I mean, it was a game of patty cake out there. When me and Rafael fight, it's going to be a completely different thing, and I'm going to make the UFC division great again.
Obviously, you got to fight Rafael next weekend, but are you confident that everything goes well, you win this fight, that you're going to be able to get Tyron Woodley later this year? Are you confident that fight will happen?
To be honest, I'm not that confident about it. You know, he's been running from me from the gate. We were supposed to fight December last year, and, you know, he said he could fight Nate Diaz or GSP, but all of a sudden when he got presented me, he's all of a sudden hurt again. So, you know, I don't know. He's been acting. He's on TMZ. You know, he needs to come back and fight, but who knows? He's probably going to run to Hollywood and just vacate the belt for me.
And a question for Rafael, kind of the same thing. I mean, what were your thoughts on the interim title here versus, you know, getting Tyron Woodley? I know you wanted Woodley. Obviously, he was hurt. I mean, what were your thoughts on that? And are you confident that, you know, you will get to fight Woodley after this?
Yeah, sure. I think that's, you know, I was ready to fight Tyron, but he want to fight in November or December. I can't wait that long. And, you know, and now I have to fight this bum next weekend.
You fought a lot of different guys in your career, Rafael, but one fight that stands out was when you were at lightweight. You fought Khabib Nurmagomedov, where he was able to wrestle and you know, use his wrestling very effectively against you. Obviously, Colby is an all-American wrestler, phenomenal wrestler in his own right. How much of an adjustment have you made, you know, with your wrestling and your wrestling defense going against another guy who has been a very dominant ground fighter?
No, it's been that fight was 4 years ago. I'm a completely different guy. And I've been involved. I think you guys can see on my fight, I've been getting better every fight. And yeah, I'm so confident. I've been training hard, and you know, nothing but confident. You know, I've been improving my game in the whole, you know, in every part, every aspect.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. As a reminder, that's *1 for questions at this time. We'll hear next from Akhilesh Ganavaratu with MMAindia.com.
Hey guys, thank you so much for taking the time. My first question goes for both of you. Firstly, Dos Anjos. Just when the interim title situation got sorted at 185, now you will be fighting for the interim title at 170. Does it kind of take anything away from the occasion for you?
Sorry, I didn't understand your question. Can you say it again, please?
Sure. Just when the interim title situation got sorted at middleweight, now at welterweight you'll be fighting for another interim title. Does fighting for an interim title take anything away from the occasion for you?
I don't think so.
Okay, same question for Colby.
Well, is Joe Rogan on this call? I just got one question. Is Joe Rogan on this call?
I don't think so.
Joe, you out there?
Colby, he is not.
Oh, figures. That unprofessional nerd. I'll tell you what, Taekwondo Joe. I want all you media to let him know we're going to have a conversation face-to-face. No podcast needed. Next question.
Okay, again, moving back to Dos Anjos. Colby has said some controversial things about Brazil and about the Brazilians. Would you say you'd be more emotionally charged for this fight than the others you had in the past?
Not at all, man. I'm a cold-blooded fighter. I have no emotions. Once I step on that cage, I'm just gonna think about make that guy quit and hurt him. Nothing else. Cold blood always.
So speak it, Junior. Let it out.
All right. My final question goes for Colby. A lot of people feel you should have been at the front of the line to fight Woodley for the undisputed title. Were you left unimpressed with how things turned around happened with the entire Woodley situation?
Can you repeat that question?
Sure. A lot of people feel that you should have been at the front of the line to fight Woodley for the undisputed title. Were you left unimpressed with how things transpired with him?
Yeah, I was left a little unimpressed. I was the front of the line after I beat Damian Maia, the last guy who fought Tyrone Woodley. So, I was the next in line. Ralphie Dos Nachos had a fight with Lawler, so that was down the line. So I was supposed to be next in line. But, Tyquill Gossip Bitch Woodley was out in Hollywood. He's gossiping, doing this little acting shit, straight to B-list movies. But we were supposed to fight, but, he doesn't want to fight. He wants to talk about the Kardashians. So, it is what it is. Everybody knows this is for the undisputed belt. Make no mistakes about it. This is the undisputed belt.
All right. Do you think you'd be fighting Woodley sometime this year if you win against Dos Anjos? Do you think that fight will happen?
To be honest, I don't think so, man. I mean, the guy, he comes out in the media and he'll say something, on his social media to get headlines, but the guy doesn't want to fight. He's a fake. He's a fraud. He's been saying since last year, I'm going to fight this time. I want to fight in November. I want to fight in August. The guy's unpredictable. He doesn't want to fight anymore. He's just trying to leverage with the UFC, get one more money fight, and then get out of the game. I'm here to make this division great again. I'm going to knock them all down one by one.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next call will come from Steven Morocco with MMAJunkie.com.
Hey, question for Rafael. How does Colby compare to Conor McGregor as a trash talker? You've been scheduled to fight them both. How do they compare for you?
Hey, man, I grew up in Brazil in the favelas, man. For me, bullies, trash talk doesn't work with me. But I think Colby, he's just trying. Conor does that well. Conor, is a rich man. He makes a lot of money, He's a businessman. And I can respect that, okay? But Colby, he's just a worse version of Conor McGregor. He's trying to be like Conor, but, all he needs, one more. When he loses for me, his career is done. All he have is talk, nothing else.
Dude, you don't believe one word that's coming out of your mouth, Ralphie. Let's be honest. You ain't teaching me shit. I've been to Brazil more than you've been in. You live in America, land of the free.
That's Conor McGregor joke.
Don't be trying to claim you're Brillian.
That's Conor McGregor joke, man. You gotta create something new. Something new, man. That's Conor McGregor joke.
Hey, hey, man,
shut up, man.
You ain't creating shit, Ralphie.
So fake,
Ralphie, no one cares about you, Ralphie. No
so
one cares
fake.
about you.
It's
no
so
one gives
fake.
a fuck about you. Oh, I'm fake, but you're the one ducking me for
You're
over
so
a year.
fake.
Yeah, I'm real
You're
fake.
so fake.
Keep telling yourself that, buddy.
I'm about to be a legend, man.
What
Getting
did it
2
take to get
belts.
you to
You're
sign
so
the
fake.
contract? How did the UFC get you to finally sign the contract? Let's be
You
honest.
say you're gonna say something on Joe Hogan's face. You say nothing when you see people face to face, man. You're a fraud. You just look into your phone, man. You just bow your head.
I'm talking about you.
You just bow your head down. You're not even looking around, man.
Come on,
You're
man.
not even looking around, man. Everybody know who you are.
And you're washed
Everybody
up
know who you
after
are.
you are.
You just look down. You just look down. You just stick with your phone with the sunglasses, nothing else.
Yeah, because I'm a professional fighter.
Because you're not, man. You're fake.
I'm gonna beat you up.
You're trying to be a bad guy. You gotta be a bad guy all time.
Just make sure you show up June 9th.
You're trying to be a bad guy, man. You gotta be a bad guy all time.
I ain't trying, motherfucker.
No, don't be fake. Don't be fake. Don't be fake.
I'm as real as they came. I'm as real as they come.
You, man. You a little pussy. It's what you are.
No, I'm not. You're gonna see. I ain't no bullshit. This is real as it comes, bitch.
You know you are. You know you are.
Ralphie, come on, that's not.
You're gonna be in debt after this fight with a bunch of prostitutes that you can pay to be on your videos.
Yeah, I'm
Shut up, man. Shut up, man.
Hey, your wife's gonna be feeding you vegetables to a sauce that break your jaw.
Oh yeah, okay.
Question for Robert and Yoel. What do you think of these guys? Are they basically doing your job for you when it comes to promotion? Can we start with Robert?
Steven, they're on the call at the bottom of the hour.
Oh, I apologize. I got on a little bit late. Sorry about that. Next.
No worries.
Okay, we'll move to our next question from Rodney James Edgar with MMAsoldier.net.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. First question is for RDA. We talked about the trash talk that you endured with Conor McGregor, and, of course, you didn't really engage much. And now, as we see on this call and as we've seen the weeks leading up, you're much more engaged with Colby. Is it a little more personal? Because you did mention that you acknowledge Conor's a businessman, but Colby made a lot of disparaging remarks about your country.
Yeah, man, people talk, they do, whatever they want to make money, and that's not my way of do business, that's not my way of, I'm a martial artist, I've been on this game for 14 years, and I've been doing that for so long, and, I think this guy, he's promoting the fight, and I'm just going to go there on fight night and do my thing.
How do you prefer to win this fight?
Yeah, one thing I can be sure, I can be sure for you that fight's not gonna last 5 rounds because I know Colby doesn't have the gas tank to last 5 rounds with me, and I will finish that fight before.
So you will finish him, okay? And
yeah, that's for sure.
RDA, and then I'll move on to Colby. Is earlier you said that Tyron Woodley intends to return in December. So if you were to capture the interim title, and let's say that Tyron Woodley is not available in December, at that time, do you think he should be stripped and then you should become the champion, or would you have to fight somebody else to unify? How would that happen?
Yeah, absolutely. He should be stripped right away. I should be the undisputed champion at that point. He's been running long enough, man. He's been running the UFC, the media, everybody in circles, man. He's been coming out saying he's going to fight at this time. He's not coming out to fight at that time. He's over in Hollywood. He's on TMZ. All he does is gossip about the Kardashians and Justin Bieber. So, the guy's a circus act, man. We need fighters that want to fight, and I'm here to fight. Ralphie Dos Natos is here to fight. Other guys are here to fight, so he needs to get stripped.
And we just had a big welterweight fight, with Darren Till and Wonder Boy. We touched on it a little bit earlier. You didn't seem very impressed with them, but those are potential opponents, next opponents for either one of you guys. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on those guys as contenders for the title?
Yeah, Daryl the Doughboy can't make weight, so he can come get this ass whooping anytime. Him and Choir Boy, they put on a high five and hugs fest, so no one wants to see that shit. He eked him out in the scorecards because it was a fix, but no one wants to see that kind of fight, man. They had more significant hand touches and more significant hugs than they had significant strikes.
Thanks, fellas.
Moving on to our next question from Harry Kettle with Sportskeeda MMA.
Hi guys, my first question is for RDA. RDA, it's taken you 3 fights to land an interim welterweight title shot. Did you think it would take longer than this, or has everything kind of gone as quickly as you were expecting it to?
No, man, I think it wasn't quick, like 3 fights. I beat Robbie Lawler. The guy was, top ranking, and one of the, beat Neil Magny, Tarek Safedin, and I've been, a former lightweight champion. I think, that was, perfect time.
And where do you think a win over Colby to win the belt would rank among your greatest career achievements?
Yeah, but, I will become 2-division champion. Very few guys achieve that. And, my goal right now is, go there next week, beat Colby, and, become, first Brazilian to get 2 belts and, to be among the very few guys who have 2 belts. It's a lot. It means a lot for my legacy.
And just a couple quick ones for Colby. Colby, do you feel like people are underestimating just how effective your wrestling ability is?
I don't pay attention to it if they underestimate it or not. It is what it is. A fight's a fight. Each fight's different. So, all I got to say is Ralphie's career is a joke. His last 3 fights are a joke. I mean, he beat a Robbie Lawler on a losing streak. Neil Magny was on a losing streak. Tarek Safedin's on a losing streak. So the guy has a false sense of confidence right now, and I'm going to expose him next weekend.
What do you think the kind of most exciting aspect of this fight is? Is it the possibility of the interim belt, or is it knowing that a win would probably mean that Tyron Woodley is next, or would probably at least be scheduled to be next?
This is the undisputed title. I don't know what you keep saying about the interim title. Everybody knows this is the undisputed belt. So, there's no, you don't get any bigger fights in the division in the UFC than we have right now.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. Best of luck.
Thank you. And at this time, I'll turn the call back to Chris Costello. Please go ahead, sir.
Thanks, Yolanda. Guys, I want to thank Rafael and Colby for joining today's call. Media, please stay on the line as we will dial in the main event in just a few minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
At this time, we are still assembling our audience and will begin shortly. We do appreciate your patience and ask that you please continue to stand by. You are currently on hold for the UFC 225 media conference call. At this time, we are assembling our audience and will begin in just a moment. Thank you for your patience, and please stand by. Good day, everyone, and welcome back to the UFC 225 media conference call. I'll turn the call back to Chris Costello. Please go ahead.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for being patient. We're having some issues connecting with middleweight champion Robert Whittaker. Number one contender Yoel Romero is on the line along with his translator, Ibiores Rivera. So why don't we go ahead and get started with Yoel, and then as soon as we're able to fix the connecting issues with Robert, we'll have him join. So with that, let's open up the questions.
And again, everyone, that's star one to signal for a question at this time, star one for questions. We'll go first to Jeffrey Harris with 411 Mania MMA.
Good afternoon, Yoel Romero. Thank you for joining us today. We're almost a year removed from that first fight with Robert Whittaker. Have you put just how much of a tough loss that was? Because that was also for the title, but now you have a chance to redeem yourself. So I guess how much more important is this fight for you right now?
Hace un año que ustedes pelearon esta pelea. ¿Cuál es la importancia? How much importance tú tienes en esta pelea? ¿Cuál es lo más importante de esta pelea?
Hello, bro. The importance for this fight is to take the ball. For him, I think is he wanted the return the ball. for me, is for the fight. You know, it's not only think about the fight, the belt. Whatever, when I fight somebody, I want to win. That's it. That's the most important here. I don't want to lose it. I want to win. Understand? That's the important for me.
And my next question is, since the first fight, have you thought about a lot what you will do in the rematch and what you think you should do differently for the decision or the outcome to be different this time?
Después de esta pelea, ¿qué tú has pensado para la diferencia en esta pelea que viene? En la última pelea que tú peleaste.
¿Cómo?
La última pelea que tú peleaste.
¿Con él o con
él? Con él. ¿Qué tú has pensado para ser diferente para esta pelea?
You need to pay the pay-per-view, and you see what I make it different in this fight for the first fight when I had it with Whittaker. You need to pay pay-per-view, and now you see where I make it different.
Last question for Yoel. You in the past have had a very intense rivalry with former middleweight champion Michael Bisping, who announced his retirement this week. Do you have any thoughts on Michael Bisping retiring from the sport?
Tu pensamiento en Michael Bisping retirándose para esta pelea.
I say I pray que yo rezo por él.
He prays for him.
Por su familia.
For his family.
Que tenga una vida fuera del octágono llena de paz.
He has a great life after out of the fighting industry.
Y que tenga una vida próspera.
And he has a prosperous life.
Thank you, Yoel, and good luck to you for this fight coming up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next question will come from Damon Martin with flowcombat.com.
Hey guys, first question, Yoel, you went 5 hard rounds with Robert Whittaker the last time. What was the biggest thing you learned about yourself in that fight, going 5 rounds and going all 25 minutes with him?
¿Cuál fue la cosa más grande que tú tenías cuando después peleando con él por los 5 rounds en la pelea que tú tenías con él?
¿Cómo una cosa más grande, Nancy?
Could you repeat the question again?
Sure. What was the biggest thing you learned about yourself, going 25 minutes with Robert Whittaker the last time?
De lo que yo aprendí de él. Hey, hello, my man. Every time in your life, you need to learn about everything what you're doing. When you lose it, when you win, you need to learn, And this time, what I learned about this fight is about the timing for where you need a timing. You need to learn about the timing and the fight. About the round to rounds, about the minute, los minutos.
The minutes, the rounds, everything. You learn everything from that last.
¿Cómo se debe de trabajar en cada minuto, en cada round?
How you have to work after every minute and every round.
Cuando vas a pelear 5 rounds.
When you're gonna fight 5 rounds.
And Yoel, you were an Olympic silver medalist. You've won championships in wrestling. But what would it mean to you to become UFC middleweight champion?
¿Qué significa tú ganar, ser campeón de esta posición?
Ahora en estos mismos momentos no estoy pensando en ser campeón, estoy pensando en ganar mi pelea.
He's not thinking about winning the belt at this time. He's thinking about winning the fight.
I know it's tough to answer.
When I win the fight, you can make this question, and I can respond.
And last one for me, Yoel. Because you and because this is the second fight with you and Robert, you go out there and beat him on June 9th. Do you believe you will have to fight him a third time? Do you believe you will end up seeing him a third time to kind of settle the score once and for all?
Si tú le ganas ahora, usted va a tener parte 3.
Yo no sé, yo he peleado en la lucha hasta 4 y 5 veces con el mismo atleta.
Because they know that he said that he's fought wrestling 4 or 5 times with the same fighter.
Y hasta más también.
Even more.
Así que después de esta pelea pueden venir hasta 10 peleas más con Robert.
After this fight, you could bring 10 more fights with Robert Whittaker.
Thank you, El.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Our next question will come from Adrian Warren, Australian Associated Press.
Hi, well, I just wanted to ask you, the last fight here in Australia in Perth against Luke Rockhold, you missed weight. I wondered what you'd learned from the lead up there to make sure that this time round you have no issues with the weight. Hello?
Hello?
One more time on the question, please.
Yes, sir.
Hello, because no, here no sé nada.
We can't really hear it from this side. It sounds real far.
Okay, yeah, I'm ringing from a long way away in Australia, but yeah, I'm repeating the question. Last time Yoel fought here in Australia against Rockhold, he missed the weight. I just wondered what he learned from his preparation from last time to make sure that he will make the weight this time, and if he's having any problems making the weight this time.
La última vez que tú peleaste, tú no llegaste al peso, pero que si tú aprendiste, ¿qué tú estás haciendo ahora para hacer lo del peso?
Pregúntale si ha visto cuántas veces yo he hecho el peso.
Have you seen how many times he's made weight? He's asking you that question.
How many times? What? Sorry, I beg your pardon.
He's made weight in his past fights.
Yeah, sure I have. I guess obviously this was the last one was an interim title fight. So yeah, I just wondered, if he'd identified anything from his preparation in the last fight, so that that won't be a problem this time.
Así va a ser un problema con el peso.
Dile que hago este peso desde 1996.
He's been doing this weight since 1996. It shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, thank you. That's all I wanted to ask. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go next to Akhilesh Ganavaratu with MMAindia.com.
Hello, Mr. Romero. Thank you so much for taking the time. My first question is, you've been here before, just one step away from getting the title. So how important is this fight for you in terms of your MMA career and what you've achieved so far?
Yo estaba aquí en esta posición antes. ¿Cuál es la cosa más importante para esta pelea?
Ganar la pelea. The most important is in this time is a winning fight.
Okay, and I also paid attention to you saying that in this fight, every moment in every round is important for you. Could you just elaborate on that? Do you think that was where the last fight went wrong for you?
Cada momento es lo más importante, cada minuto es lo más importante. Que si tú le puedes decir, que le diga un poco de la importancia de cada minuto de la pelea.
Desde que me dieron, desde que le gané a Luke Rockhold y que Dana White dijo que yo iba a discutir el título mundial, desde ese mismo momento todos los minutos fueron importantes.
After he beat Luke Rockhold and Dana White told him that he was going to fight for the belt, every minute has been very important for him.
Hasta el último minuto, hasta el último minuto de junio 9 va a ser importante. Hasta el último minuto de junio 9.
Up to the last minute of June 9th, every minute is going to be important.
All right, so the last question is, Whittaker previously said during an interview that he won't fight Romero if he missed weight. Has Romero been paying attention to his comments going into the fight?
soy de los comentarios que está diciendo Robert Whittaker, que si tú no haces...
No, yo no.
No, he hasn't heard that. He hasn't paid attention to it.
No soy
All
una
right,
gente
thank
de
you.
redes sociales.
He's not a social media person.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Romero.
Thank you. And
My pleasure.
as a reminder, that's star one for questions. We'll go next to Harry Kettle with Sportskeeda MMA.
Hi guys. My first question is obviously for Yoel. Which part of Robert Whittaker's game do you think is going to be the most dangerous when you face off again?
Por parte va a ser the most dangerous para como ustedes se enfrenten otra vez.
Pues vamos a querer arrancar la cabeza los.
They're gonna want to take each other's head, both of us.
And secondly, Yoel, is this the most physically fit you've ever felt coming into a fight? You seem to get better and better as the fights go on. Is this the most physically fit you've ever felt?
Esto es lo mejor que tú estás sentado. Tú siempre te mejoras, mejor y mejor. Esto es lo mejor que tú estás sentado. Te has sentido ahora.
Me siento bien.
It feels great.
Me siento muy bien.
It feels very good.
Me siento bendecido.
It feels blessed.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. All the best.
We'll go next to Keith Schillen with the MMA Takeover.
Thank you. My first question for Yoel is, Yoel, you're a world champion wrestler, but when you fought Robert, you had 18 takedown attempts with only 4 takedowns. What in Robert's game makes it so difficult to take him down?
Cuando tú peleaste con Robert Whittaker, tú trataste de bajarlo 18 veces y 4 veces fue que lo dejaste. ¿Cuál es lo difícil de Robert Whittaker para cogerlo a él?
Creo que se mueve hacia atrás. No. Que él hace la pelea que se mueve hacia atrás. Es eso lo que hace difícil hacerle takedown.
He takes his fight. He fights going backwards, and that's what makes it difficult for him.
Okay, and my other question for you is, in the co-main event, you have Rafael dos Anjos and Colby Covington. Colby Covington obviously has been making a lot of noise. One thing he said was that he plans on moving down to lightweight and up to middleweight.
Colby said that?
Is that a match? Yeah, Colby said that. Yeah, Colby said that. Is that a fight that interests you? And what's your thoughts on his general statement of saying that?
Colby dijo que va a subir al middleweight.
Dile que lo haga.
Dile en inglés.
Do it. You know me. Do it.
Do I got to translate that or you understood that?
Yeah, no, I understand. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you for your questions. At this time, I'll turn the conference back to Chris Costello. Please go ahead.
Thanks, Yolanda. Gang, we are about 5 minutes from connecting with Robert Whittaker. At this time, we'll go ahead and thank Yoel and for joining us for the call today. Those that are able to stay on the line, again, Robert will be joining us here in just a few moments. Thanks for your patience, and thanks again, Yoel.
Thank you, guys.
on hold for today's UFC 225 media conference call. Please continue to stand by. We'll be going live shortly. Currently on hold for the UFC 225 media conference call. We should be going live shortly. Thank you for your patience, and please stand by. And welcome back, everyone, to the UFC 225 media conference call. I'll turn things over to Chris Costello. Please go ahead.
Thanks, Yolanda. Again, gang, everybody, much thanks for being patient on today's call. We do have UFC middleweight champion Robert Whittaker on the line. So, Yolanda, let's open up the questions.
Okay, we'll go first to Jeffrey Harris with 411 Mania MMA.
Good day, Robert. Thank you for joining us today. We're almost a year removed from your first fight with Yoel Romero, but since that time, you've had some injuries and some illnesses you've been dealing with. It sounds like what you were dealing with was pretty intense. So, I mean, how is the battle just to get back to this point where you're about to be fighting again?
Yeah, yeah, thanks for everyone for being patient first and foremost. Secondly, being sick and getting injured, I think it's all part of the game. And you know what they say, when it rains it pours. So when I got sick, I got really sick. I'm pretty blessed in the fact that I don't generally get sick, but I guess when I get sick, I do it properly, right? I ended up getting a staph that got out of hand, and then at the end of that, I ended up getting chickenpox, and chickenpox is by far the worst thing I have ever had in my life. I tell people about it and they laugh at me, but I tell them it is nasty.
Now, Robert, this situation, did it disappoint you at all how things concluded with Michael Bisping and George St. Pierre, where we had a situation where George St. Pierre, he ended up winning the title and ended up relinquishing it, making you the full undisputed champion, and you ended up not fighting either of those men. Did it disappoint you how that ended up?
It disappointed me in the sense that, from a fighting perspective, I obviously go out there to try and fight anyone and everyone with the highest caliber. I think George St. Pierre has proven that. So same with Michael Bisping, they've both proven that they're of the highest caliber, but both of them, their time was up. They both stepped down and they had enough. And it is what it is. I have to respect their decisions.
And Robert, I'm just so impressed with what you have accomplished at middleweight, considering you started your UFC career as a welterweight. And it's not often you see many fighters at your level moving up a weight class. And you may not be, can you speak at all about possibly not being the biggest middleweight in the world and also being such a big success when we've seen many fighters this year already missing weight for their fights? Are fighters trying to be too big and heavy for their weight class on any level?
Have you seen me, mate? I'm huge, dude. But it was just a natural progression for me. I always knew that I was gonna have to move up. It was just a matter of when. And the cuts really started taking it out of my performance and taking it out of the water in my body, the water in my brain. It started becoming a bit too much for me. So I moved up, and if I'm honest with myself, I should have probably done it much sooner. I just feel so much more natural. I hold a lot of my weight well. I don't think I'm as light as people give me credit for. I think I'm a little bit bigger than that. But I think I hold my speed well. My power has definitely gone through the roof, and my endurance and ability to take shots as well has also increased.
All right. So middleweight's your natural weight, but do you think more fighters maybe need to be fighting at their natural weight instead of trying to cut too much?
I think it's a fine line. I think personally, if I were to rule it out, I'd have to say I think everyone should do what's healthy for their body. And if doing these huge cuts for any sort of advantage is dangerous to your body and to your health and to the longevity of your life and organs, I think you should really, really have a good hard look at it, because one day everyone will put up their gloves, and and then you're left with what you've put your body through after that, during that time. So I think it's important that everyone just focuses on their health and does what's good for their body.
Thank you for joining us today, Robert, and good luck at UFC 225.
No, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. We'll go next to Damon Martin with FlowCombat.com.
Hey, Robert. First question, I wanted to ask you about Michael Bisping because obviously he retired this week, and I know you were supposed to fight him at one time. It didn't come together. I know you guys had kind of gone back and forth a little bit when he was champion, but I just want to get your thoughts on him, as he retires from the sport, this week.
Yeah, I think he's a true warrior. I really do. He's done it all. He's lost, he's won, and he's become champion. He's a true test of endurance and determination. I really do. I think a lot of people can learn a thing or two watching his career. In terms of fighting him, from one fighter to another, there's a lot of respect in terms of wanting to fight each other. There would have been a lot of respect there and a lot of honour earned. But I'm happy not to have fought him, just due to the fact that I've always liked him. And if I'm going to be honest with myself, I was a bit of a fan of his, to be honest.
It's been a year, basically almost a year since you fought, and I know it's been tough for you to be out, but how much have you paid attention to the middleweight division, in your absence with Luke Rockhold? It seems like he's leaving the division. You got Chris Weidman, Kelvin Gastelum's obviously coming off a couple of big wins. Like, what are your thoughts on the state of the middleweight division, since you've won the title?
I don't care, to be honest. I never have. And even when I was going up, or now that I'm champion, I still don't care. It's the UFC line up the number one contender in front of me, and it's my job to knock him down. And if that ever changes, then it's my job to take on whoever they put in front of me until I'm back at the top. It's just that is my journey, that is my path, that is my craft. That's what I do.
You obviously beat Yoel last year, and you couldn't help the fact that you got sick and had to take some time off. But what are your thoughts on fighting him back to back? I know a lot of times it doesn't happen very often, and you beat a guy, and now you've got to kind of go back through the motions again. I mean, how are your thoughts on that? I mean, is it just part of the sport because you were out, or were you kind of disappointed that it didn't end up being somebody else? Like, what were your thoughts on that?
No, it's a pain in the ass, to be honest. It was a very hard and tiring first fight, and have to back that up with the same fight again. It's certainly a pain, but no, it'll be another good fight. It was a good hard fight. I think it was a good fight to watch. I think the crowd and all the fans out there loved watching the fight. And then one of my biggest goals is to just bring exciting fights and fights that bring a lot of honor to me and my family.
Is there a part of you that feels like you want to, kind of put an extra stamp on this fight? Because the last fight, he came out very strong early. I know he hurt your knee early, and you were able to come back and, really have a strong, final 3 rounds in that fight. Is there a part of you that kind of wants to put a stamp on this, get a finish, or really dominate him and just kind of leave no question?
I try to do that every fight. I don't know if sometimes I don't look like I am, but generally I'm trying to do that every fight. Last fight with him, 25 minutes, I was trying to finish him. He's a tough guy. And then I got tired, and he was still tough, and I wasn't hitting as hard. But this fight, as far as I'm concerned, I have 25 minutes to try and finish him to try and finish him. And I'm going to use every single second of those minutes to try and achieve that.
And last one for me, Robert. You've always said you're just going to fight whoever the UFC puts in front of you. It's not your job to call out people. But in this day and age where we are seeing these champion versus champion fights, we're seeing Stipe in DC. There was talk about Dillashaw and Johnson. Tyron Woodley has talked a lot about coming up to middleweight, testing himself. He had tried to fight Michael Bisping. He wanted to fight George St. Pierre. What is your interest in a fight with Tyron in that sense, champion versus champion? Is that something that actually interests you, or does it even matter?
It doesn't matter to me right now. The only guy in my sights right now is Yoel Romero. Yoel Romero is a hard dude on the best of nights. I can't disrespect him in that regard, even for a second, and look past him. Otherwise, I'll lose in that instance. He is too tough. He hits too hard, and he's too good. So I'm going to focus solely on him. Literally whoever the UFC wants me to fight, or whoever wants to fight me afterwards, they can get in line. There's a whole list of contenders in my division that they want to take my head off, and they can join the queue.
Thanks, Robert.
We'll take our next question from Harry Kettle with Sportskeeda MMA.
Morning, Robert. My first question, you've kind of obviously spent some time out, courtesy of injuries and things like that. Now that you're back, how important is it for you to create a legacy as a fighting champion in the UFC?
Creating a legacy is one of my overall objectives in my career as a fighter. And it didn't stop when I got sick. That is part of the legacy, and that is part of my journey. Being sick and going through those turmoils and hardships is what makes the reward so sweet, or what makes getting over those bumps and those obstacles so glorifying.
And when we look elsewhere on this, obviously 225 card, you've got Megan Anderson and Tai Tuivasa. How excited are you to kind of have this kind of Australian invasion of sorts on this card in Chicago? And how does it feel to be, the focal point really of your region's MMA scene?
Yeah, it's an honour to be, I guess, one of the leaders in the flagship that's Australian MMA. And for it's always been one of my passions is to increase the popularity of the sport and the growth of the sport of mixed martial arts in Australia, so that the younger guys coming up through the ranks can seriously look at MMA as a career opportunity.
And if we just go back to obviously when Romero fought Rockhold and inevitably beat him, before that fight, were you kind of preparing yourself, even though the fight obviously didn't take place because of your injury, were you preparing yourself for the possibility of fighting Rockhold, or did you kind of think in the back of your mind that Romero had it in him to finish him, and this was kind of maybe destined to happen again, if you want?
Well, I was preparing for Rockhold during that whole prep, and until I got sick, and then once I got sick, what they were doing and who I was going to fight next didn't matter to me. Everything I was doing was just focusing on getting better and trying to get over the sickness. There wasn't an after at that point. I was just going through the motions.
And one final one from me, given obviously that this is a rematch, is there one thing that you're kind of expecting him to change right from the word go when you get in the octagon and the fight starts? Is there one thing you're thinking to yourself, I can tell that he's going to do this one thing differently, specifically to try and get an advantage that he didn't have last time?
I don't think there is anything he can do that can give him more of an advantage than he had last time, to be honest. I don't think he has it in his... I don't think he can change that drastically at his age and in this little amount of time before the fight. I just don't see it. If he does, then I'm sure I'll adapt and I'll be prepared. It's kind of what I do. But I just don't see it. But I tell you what, I've got a bag of new tricks that I'm looking forward to bringing out and throwing at him.
Thanks, mate. Can't wait to see them. All the best next weekend.
Thank you very much, mate.
We'll take our next question from Akhilesh Ganavarachu with MMAindia.com.
Morning, Sam. Thank you for taking the time. Firstly, I want to ask you this. Does it kind of feel a little overwhelming, perhaps, that your first defense against someone you defeated in your last fight?
Sorry, you're going to have to repeat that question. You were breaking up a little bit, and it was kind of crackly.
Sure. Does it kind of feel a little underwhelming, perhaps, that your first title defense as the undisputed champ is against someone you defeated in your last fight?
No, not really, to be honest. He's a tough guy. He's number one contender. And, after beating Rockhold, he deserves a shot. He's beaten everybody else. There's just me and him now. So, and then defending the belt doesn't mean much to me. My ultimate goal is just to fight the top dogs, to fight the boogeymen, the bad guys. So, I look forward to fighting Romero.
All right, and the first time around, you fought and kind of as it's looking. Is that something that's at the back of?
Akhilesh, are you still there? You're breaking up quite a bit. Are you still on the line, Akhilesh?
Yes. Can you hear me now? Is it better?
A little better so far.
Okay, so the first time around, you were more active in the championship rounds and warded off Romero's takedown attempts as he slowed down. Is that kind of something that's at the back of your head to push Joel for all 5 rounds?
Yeah, definitely. I think anyone fighting Romero wants to try to push it into the later rounds, to drag it out, to try and drag someone as explosive as him into the later rounds. Obviously, isn't going to be good for him. He's super athletic. He has got good cardio, and he's highly explosive. And the way he fights just isn't meant for those long rounds.
Right, absolutely. And I think someone brought up the statistics before, where he attempted 18 takedowns but only succeeded in taking you down 4 times. What do you attribute that kind of success to?
My wrestling defense is, I don't know. To be honest, I wrestle. I wrestle a lot. I train a lot. I try to. I don't neglect it. I make sure that I cover all my bases, and then I just be me out there. I worry about my offense, and it's surprisingly hard to take someone down who's backing up as well as throwing punches and kicks.
Right, and my final question for you is, we just got to see Darren Till's weight cut at UFC Liverpool, which looked very dangerous. You've made the move from 170 to 185 yourself and have won all of your fights so far at middleweight. So I wanted to get your thoughts on how you felt personally since moving up a weight class.
Moving on the weight class was the best move for me, health-wise and career-wise. Which, funny enough, are directly relative. It was getting dangerous for me to cut the weight, and it's getting harder for me to cut the weight. And cutting the weight and making the weight is half your job. So I made the move to go up, feel more comfortable, feel more relaxed, much healthier cut. And then I have all the power I need up there. I have the speed. I have everything I need in middleweight. This is the weight I'm supposed to be at. And, yeah, it was the best move career-wise for me.
All right, understood. Thank you so much for the time, and all the very best for your upcoming fight.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, everyone, for your questions. I'll turn the conference back to Josh Eldridge. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you to Robert Whittaker for joining us, and thank you to everyone for your patience in joining us today. UFC 225 activities kick off Wednesday in Chicago with open workouts. A quick reminder that UFC makes its debut in Utica, New York for UFC Fight Night live on FS1 tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in Chicago.
Thank you, guys.
That will conclude today's conference. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you. Sorry.